Good morning, Glasgow Rangers Nation. Good afternoon, Glasgow Rangers Nation. And good evening, Glasgow Rangers Nation. It all depends, obviously, when you pick up this video. I like the new calendar. Anyway, welcome to the channel. We've got, what have we got today? We've got some Connor Barron. We've got some Boydie. We've got some PC. We've got some Wee Ross. And we've got the famous Kris Boyd as well. So let's get on with the channel. Let's get on with the news. Let's get on with everything to do with our great club, guys. We are the greatest club in the world, and we're going to keep talking about ourselves. So let's start off with a bit of Kris Boyd before we talk about Connor Barron and a possible move to Rangers. That's upcoming. Hang on for that. Well, we all love a bit of Boydie, don't we? We all love a bit of Boydie. We all love how passionate he is about the club. We all know that he absolutely loves Rangers. We know that he wears his heart on his sleeve, and we know that he likes to wind up Chris Sutton, which is, which is great. But let's see. He has been talking about James Tavernier. Now, in the past, we know that Kris Boyd has expressed, I think, the frustrations of lots of Rangers fans as regards the situation with the mentality, with the attitude of certain players, and with the old guard, the guys who perceivably have, seen off manager after manager after manager. That is obviously, that's the narrative that has been around, with the sacking, obviously, of Gio and the sacking of Michael Beale. I think there's been a certain narrative around that certain players have down tools, certain players have got these managers sacked, and a lot of that has been levelled at James Tavernier, Connor Goldson, Borna Barisic, John Lundstrom, for example. Now, previously in this season, Kris Boyd did kind of intimate that James Tavernier's days at Rangers were numbered and his days as a Rangers captain were numbered in the comments that he made. But it really seems that Boydie has been forced to eat those words and sort of climb down a little bit on what he was saying as regards Tav. As we all have, I think, we all have. I certainly criticised Tav. I think, a lot of fans have criticised Tav, and he certainly seemed to divide the fan base vastly at one point. Now, if we go back in history, guys, if we get in the red, white, and blue time machine and head back to those days when Michael Beale was sacked, clarion days, guys, great days now. On reflection, obviously, with the arrival of big Phil Clement, but this is what he said. I mean, if we go back to what Boydie said back then, he said, there are senior players in this Rangers team who've seen off manager after manager. More than anyone, I have been critical of the recent recruitment of the club. It's been an absolute shambles. How many Rangers managers are they going to let down? And I think that is very much an opinion that is kind of, carried weight, carried favour amongst a lot of Rangers fans, that there was that perceivable nature that these players had obviously let down Gio, despite what Gio had achieved in terms of the Scottish FA Cup and also the run to the Europa League final, and certainly let down Michael Beale as well, although we now know that's kind of Beale's fault with the way he treated certain players and the fact that he is a pathological liar and probably one of the worst managers in the club's history. And I certainly pity poor Sunderland having Michael Beale. You really do wonder what their management team, Christian Speakman and Kivell Louis-Dreyfus, were thinking when they employed Michael Beale, no doubt blinded by his PowerPoints. But Boyd has seemingly climbed down and rode back on those remarks with some more comments as regards Tav. And I think we've all kind of, had to owe Tav a bit of an apology, haven't we? Given his recent exploits, the fact that he won us the Viaplay Cup with that goal, the fact that he seems to come and dig us out of the shit at all different points, doesn't he? He really is the man of the moment. Boydie talked a little bit about Tav, and he talked a little bit about what Tav has done in recent times in what I would call a little bit of a climb down on the anti-Tav rhetoric. This is what he had to say. So this is old Boydie talking. He said, I think I was like everyone else, questioning the team at that time. When you go back, they obviously lost 2 games, and going into St Mirren, the manager had lost his job to a lot of players who had been there underperforming. But what I will say is he scored 2 goals against St Mirren, obviously talking about Tav, and that day 9 goals since, which is absolutely phenomenal return. I think, we sometimes forget this guy's a right back, and yet he scored 9 goals, and he's the, up there with the top scorers in the Scottish Premier League, despite the fact he plays as a defensive right back. He's been outstanding since that day. That little pep talk probably did him a favour. When he's on it, you just look at him and you think, why aren't you in the English Premier League? There's obviously defensive frailties that get exposed from time to time, and that's maybe why he isn't in there. In terms of the numbers he's racked up since he's arrived at Rangers Football Club, it is absolutely extraordinary. People can go on about penalties. If it were that easy, everybody would want to stand 12 yards from the penalty spot, to have the bottle to stand up time and time again, even if he's missed them, to go again and to do it again. He doesn't hide. There are maybe times when you think there's a dip there. I look at captains like Barry Ferguson, the criticism he got and how he dealt with it. James Tavernier is in that bracket. When you're the captain of this football club, you're going to take criticism. But there's only one thing about them: they always bounce back. Now, I think this is some great points there from Boydie in what he had to say. And I'm going to pick up on a couple of points that he made in that. You know, Tav's numbers are phenomenal. 115 goals, 112 assists. Absolutely amazing for a guy who plays right back. Yes, I do think that, you know, the reason he is not perhaps gone on to represent England or to, you know, perhaps go to one of those top 4 English Premier League clubs despite his numbers is solely down to the fact that perhaps that very much his defence is not seen as being up to the standard that you would expect of a player to play there. Now, look, Tav has been phenomenal. Really phenomenal over recent weeks in the way he's played and the way he stepped up. And I think he's really responded to the demands that Philippe Clement has put on this squad. He is one of the players that has kind of, I think, really picked up on the changing mentality around this squad. He really has. And he's really bought in, I think, to the Philippe Clement way. And Boydie's also right as well. You know, look, Tav gets a lot of flack because everybody says, oh, well, he only scores penalties. Well, no, he doesn't. As we've seen in the Viaplay Cup final, as we've seen in a number of games, it's not only penalties he scores, you know, long range shots, he scores in the box, he scores free kicks. And as Boydie says, if it was that easy to score a penalty, everybody would want to do it. And I'll tell you something, you know, as someone who's coached football, obviously not to the standard of Rangers or to any high level, you know, you ask people, do you want to take a penalty in a penalty shootout? The amount of players, even some of you, what you would perceive as your more skillful players, say, no chance, no way, no, I don't want to take one, is incredible. You know, you've got to have bottles to stand up there. It's the ultimate duel, you know, to stand one-on-one with a goalkeeper and to take that keeper on. Yes, I know that at the end of the day, it should be that the penalty is scored because it's easier for the guy shooting at the goal than, you know, the guy in the goal. But I'll tell you one thing, having taken penalties, yes, I know, not at a standard like Rangers or at a high level, but, you know, in amateur football, it is nerve-wracking. You step up there and suddenly the goal shrinks, the goal looks massive, and you kind of get that kind of, oh shit, what if I miss kind of feeling about you. You've got to admire his bottle and the fact that, you know, that in games where he has missed, he's then stepped up and said, yep, I'm taking it, and actually scored. That is bottle. That is real bottle, guys. And I think he deserves all the commendations in the world for that. Is he the perfect player? No. Is he the perfect captain? No. But that's just the nature of Rangers, isn't it? That's the nature of where we're at as a club at this moment in time. But Tav does deserve some praise for what he's achieved in the last few weeks, months under Philippe Clement. And Boydie climbing down on his remarks is certainly a big one there. And look, I love Boydie. I think he's great. I think he's a bit pantomime at times, but you've got to admire his passion for Rangers and his love for the club. Right, let's move it along. Let's talk a bit of Connor Barron, shall we? Now, Connor Barron is a young midfielder who plays currently for the Aberdeen, for the Sheep. Certainly someone who has been strongly rumoured to be interesting Rangers. And I know a lot of fans very highly rate Connor Barron and do think that he's someone that we should go after. But let's have a little look at some basic stats before we talk about the story. So Connor Barron's 21 years old. He's from Kintorsby. He is Scottish. He is a Scottish player. He would count towards the Scottish quota. He can play in central midfield. He's right-footed. He's currently under contract only, though, till May the 31st, 2024. So he is out of contract this summer. So I know that there's a lot of talk, you know, there's always the talk that, look, you know, Aberdeen won't do business with Rangers. Aberdeen will rip Rangers off. Aberdeen will charge Rangers a premium. But with Connor Barron, they really don't have that leverage. Connor Barron is out of contract in the summer, you know, and it seems that, you know, despite Aberdeen's intentions to re-sign this guy, to get him on a long-term deal, he doesn't want to sign. So, you know, they haven't got a lot of power with this player. And, you know, it does seem that Rangers are genuinely interested, as are that lot from across the city. Connor Barron would be an excellent signing for this club. He is certainly someone with great potential. Certainly someone I think can go on to be a very key member of this team if he was to join. He is a good midfield player. He's got good range of passing. He's good in the tackle. He is a very clever player. I mean, this season, if we look at his season stats, he's made 9 appearances for Aberdeen in the Premiership. He's played 6 games in the Conference League, 3 games in the League Cup. So making a total of 18 appearances this season. No goals or assists yet. He's also made 11 appearances for the Scottish under-21s, 10 appearances for the under-17s, and 5 for the under-16. So he is certainly someone who's coming up through the age groups in the Scottish national team setup. Now, there are strong rumours going around at this moment in time that Rangers have already agreed a pre-contract agreement with Connor Barron. But obviously, it cannot be made public until January when the transfer window officially opens, which it does in 5 days' time. That's right, guys. We are on the countdown now to the real Christmas time, the real time when the presents come, when January, when the transfer window reopens and we can get some nice, shiny new presents for our team. Forget Christmas Day, guys. Look, personal opinion, I think this would be a great signing. I certainly hope those rumours about a pre-contract are true. Now, given our lack of players at central midfield, it could even be worth going into Aberdeen in January and saying, right, look, you're going to lose him for nothing in the summer, 250,000, 300,000. What do you think? And if they say no, we'll go, okay, then fine. We'll wait for the summer and go through the pre-contract and you get absolutely nothing. And he walks for nothing. So, look, there's got to be that option there. It very much is that the player and the buying club will hold the whip hand on this one, given the fact that Connor is out of contract in the summer. He's certainly a player I do hope we go after. I do think that he could add to this squad. And yes, I know we've got young players like Alex Lowry, like Bailey Rice, like Colm McKinnon, all coming through. But I do think that Connor Barron is a very talented player and certainly someone who could really add to this squad. So, look, I hope the rumours around this pre-contract are true. Like I said, there are a lot of rumours doing the rounds amongst a lot of analysts, amongst a lot of the media outlets at this moment in time, that Rangers have already agreed this pre-contract agreement. But it obviously, like I said, until January, it cannot be made public. But look, if we can get hold of Connor Barron, it would be a great signing for the club. Another one for the Scottish quota, another homegrown lad, someone else who knows the league. And that's kind of important for me. I think, especially if we can get him in January. Players we sign in January, we don't need them to be coming in with needing time to settle in. We need them to be able to hit the ground running from minute one. And certainly Connor Barron is someone who could do that. And I think, he's someone who could get in the team straight away, given the fact that, Raskin and Jack and Lunny and Seafield were all out at this moment in time. So certainly someone who would add to our squad. Okay, so let's move it along. Let's talk about another young player, shall we, who has, certainly made a great effect. And there was a few tweets slagging him off on X today, which I think was out of order. But, young Ross McCausland has certainly been a live wire since he's moved into the team this season and certainly has, worked hard. He's direct. He's a breath of fresh air. He's certainly someone who, adds to this team. I don't think he's coming to the point where he does need a rest. As Philippe Clement said in his press conferences, he does need to manage young Ross's minutes. And I certainly hope that he starts to do that. I personally would rest him against Ross County. More of that to come. Anyway, I want to give wee Ross a big shout out for his actions on Christmas Day. Now, look, footballers are slagged off an awful lot, aren't they, for being out of touch, for those massive salaries, the flash cars, the wags, the lifestyle. They're seen as been obviously a lot of players are seen as not been in touch with fans. But we know that Ross is a blue nose through and through. We know that Ross he loves Rangers. He absolutely loves Rangers. We know that. So look, this is a great story. This is fabulous. This was on X earlier and on Instagram, and I want to give a big shout out to wee Ross for this. This is what it says. It says, "What a day we've had at our free Christmas Day lunch. There was loads of delicious food served as everyone got a 3-course meal. There was a lot of over 65 people who received a meal from us, with just over 30 sitting in the Reevedale Centre and over 30 having their meal delivered. We'd like to thank all the volunteers today who helped out at the centre and done deliveries. Big thank you to all who have worked over December to make the Christmas so good for so many people. A special thank you to @Rangers FC player Ross McCausland for giving up time on Christmas Day to help prepare, serve and deliver some meals." Ross, I want to just say this, buddy. Look, I know you probably don't watch the channel, but Ross, massive, massive congratulations, mate. This is fantastic. The fact that Ross has on Christmas Day, when Christmas Day, yes, I know they train on the morning, but theoretically the afternoon they want to spend time with their families, their girlfriends, etc., etc. But I want to give a huge shout out and a huge commendation to young Ross for this, to give up his time on Christmas Day to go to this centre to put himself out there to help the elderly, to help those who are less fortunate than him, to serve meals, to prepare meals, to get a Christmas meal ready for some people who may be on their own this Christmas or may not be able to afford a Christmas dinner, worried about the future because of the cost of living crisis we're currently going through. For wee Ross to do this is just phenomenal. And I think, for me, wee Ross deserves all the credit in the world. He really does. He's, like I said, this is everything. This is what you want Rangers to do. This is what you want our players to do, to give back to the community, to show that they are not above the fans, to show that they are one with us. And I think, like I said, wee Ross has done that today. Absolute 100%. Congratulations to wee Ross for doing this. It's absolutely phenomenal that he's gone out there on Christmas Day. He's served meals, he's prepared meals, and Ross, you're a star, mate. You're an absolute star, and well done. Just a huge well done from Glasgow Rangers Nation, and I'm sure from a lot of Rangers fans as well. Massive, massive congratulations, Ross. But look, at the end of the day, look, it is what it is. We are a club that do care about our fans. We are a club that are part of the community. We are a club that are a family, and that's why a lot of us love this club and love everything this club stands for. Obviously, we're building up towards the game on Wednesday night against Ross County. A game that obviously could be called off because of the weather. Ross County did call their last game off due to a waterlogged pitch, so it does remain to be seen whether that pitch is in a fit state to play. Philippe Clement is going to be faced with some difficult decisions going into this game, with Connor Goldson prospectively out. With the groin injury, Big Leon, can he manage 3 games in a week? A lot of injuries in centre midfield. How does he approach this game? And look, I honestly think that, look, no disrespect to Ross County by any stretch of the imagination, but this team should have more than enough, even with the fact we're down to the very bare bones, to overcome Ross County and to beat them. I had a little think earlier about a team, possible selection, and I think, look, some positions pick themselves because of the lack of options. Striker, for example, central midfield as well. Now, this is how I would line up. Again, as I always say on the channel, if you might think, oh, fuck, you're not picking the team, Owen. Well, here is the team that I would choose tomorrow night against Ross County. Obviously, Super Jack Butland in goal has to be, the guy is an absolute superstar. Back 4, James Tavernier, John Suter, Ben Davis, and Borna Barisic. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why the changes, Owen? Why you don't mess with the back 4, Owen? Why are you changing it? Look, Connor Goldson, you don't risk him under any circumstances. You put everything you can into getting him ready and good to go and fit for the 30th against that lot from across the city. For me, he has to be at the prime of his, at least being with a chance of playing. We've got to have Goldson there. We've got to have a leader on the pitch. We've lost Lunny. We've lost Raskin. We've lost Jack. For that game, we need Connor out there. So for me, John Suter starts at right centre defence. I don't think that weakens the team any. I think Suter at right side central defence is a lot better than obviously when he plays left side central defence. I would start Ben Davis just because of the fact that I think Big Leon cannot play 3 games in a week, and we need Leon for the 30th. I'd rather have Leon fit and good to go for the 30th. So give Big Leon a rest. And like I said, I think it will be enough to beat. It's Ross County, guys. We shouldn't be worrying about Ross County home or away. Borna, for me, comes back into the team. Young Ridvan has not really impressed last couple of games. Plus, realistically, Philippe Clement is going to go with Borna on the 30th. So as long as he isn't injured, he has to play. Sterling and Dow pretty much picked themselves because, let's face it, there's no one else there. But not just that. I'll be honest, Sterling and Dowell have been fantastic in the last couple of games. And Kieran Dowell, since he's come back in, he gets his goal against Motherwell. He's played really well. His distribution of the ball is good. He's always offering for the ball, doesn't shirk a tackle. I think he could actually have a long-term role for Rangers in that position. And Sterling, the Dark Destroyer, has been phenomenal. He's been fantastic. And I really rate the way that Sterling is playing. And full credit to Big Phil for the way that he's prepped him. The three behind the striker, Scott Wright. I would give Wright the start against Ross County just because I think it's time to rest Ross. I think he does need a rest. I think Ross does need to start on the 30th. I think he'll be absolutely bang up for that game, been a blue nose. So give him a rest, get him ready for the 30th. Scott Wright, is a good player this season. He has improved under Philippe Clement. So for me, give Scotty the start. Canwell has to play at 10. Get 50, 60 minutes out of him, get ahead, take him off. That's the answer for me. Seamer has to be in the team, one of the top scorers. Been brilliant this season. And Cyril Dessers kind of picks himself because of the fact there literally is no one else at this moment in time with Danilo out till April. Sam Lammer's just plain shit. And Lovelace obviously out until mid-January. So it kind of picks itself, doesn't it? Let me know what you think. How would you line up to tomorrow night against Ross County? Look, personally, I think it is a game we can win. I will be talking more about the game tonight on the podcast. Please come and join me for the preview pod. And obviously, we'll have the match day news video on Wednesday as well. Thank you so much, as always, for your phenomenal support, guys. The support you've given me this year has been amazing. I am absolutely blown away. I mean, we're on 4,111, I think it is, at time of recording subs. It's been phenomenal. And your support has been amazing. And look, I keep saying this. I don't know how much you believe me about this, but it does mean the absolute world to me, guys. This channel, I've got such massive ambitions for this channel. I want to bring a website online, merchandise, lives, etc., etc. But obviously, we need to grow more. We need to get bigger. The only way we can do that is if you hit the sub button. 63% of the people who watch this channel are not subscribed to it, guys. So please hit that sub, ring that notification bell. As always, hope you have a great Boxing Day, guys. Hope you had a great Christmas day with your families. Happy Christmas for yesterday. I didn't wish you, Harry, happy Christmas yesterday. I want to wish you all the very best. Christmas Day was a funny one for me. I spent the morning with my daughters, obviously giving them their gifts, and it means the world to me. It really does. My girls are my everything, guys. My girls are amazing. I love my girls to bits. And also, look, there's everyone has someone in their life that they respect, that they love. For me, she's away at the moment. She's with her family in Scotland. I love her to bits. Absolutely amazing woman, Liz. Wish you all the best, Liz, for the rest of this year. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for the future and everything you've done for us. And on the way out, as always, I ask you two things for me. Number one, can you smash the like? And number two, remember always, please never forget, our city, we are the people.